Hello everyone, it's Official Pilot here, and welcome to Byte-Sized Fundamentals, the series where we go over fundamental programming concepts in under 5 minutes. Today we're going to be talking briefly about namespaces. This is an in-depth topic that isn't going to prove particularly useful to begin with, but it is something that is very important to know the basics of going further into the series. What is a namespace? Well, a namespace is almost exactly as it sounds. It provides a space for names. What that means is that when we define functions, which we'll discuss later in the series, we can tell the compiler that they belong to a certain namespace or a particular set. This provides a clean way to separate different types of functions. To use a namespace, we have two options. The first option is to use the namespace name, followed by 2 colons, followed by the function name, or the particular name of whatever out of that namespace we want to use, whether that be a variable, a class, which we'll discuss in a later series, or a function. The second way we can use a namespace is by writing using namespace and then the namespace name at the top of the file, which removes the need for us to use namespace name colon before every function from that namespace that we want to use. A very common example of this would be the std namespace, which is the standard namespace, which we'll use a lot in the coming videos. To use a function that's inside the standard namespace, we again have two options. We can either do std cout for the cout statement that we used in the previous video, which we'll explain in a later video, or we can write using namespace std up the top of the file, and then we can just use cout in the program without having to actually write std cout every time. Let's look at a quick example of this. We're now on Eclipse and we're looking at the program that we made last time, and you'll see that again we have a namespace here. We have the std cout function. What that means is that the cout function is actually part of this std namespace. Same with the end line character that we used. Let's say we wanted to convert this program to use the second method for using namespaces. What we'd do is we'd go up to the top of the file and go using namespace std. At this point, we don't need these bits anymore. We can just get rid of them and the program will work exactly the same because we have defined that this entire program is going to run from the std namespace. So it's essentially just writing std in front of everything that requires it. That's all for today's video. We're going to be going over input and output in the next video, which is going to explain the rest of this basic program, and then we can actually start doing some interesting things. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.